All right, another day in the old dirt business. Just trying to figure out what in the world we can get into today. It ain't gonna be on this wheel loader, I can tell you that. That thing's too big and tough for me. You know me, I'm a one-man show. Hey, it's Scott Benson, Skid Steer Premier, YouTube channel Georgia Nuts. It's been a minute since I dropped the video. I have to apologize for that. I've been busy. It's just that these have been some jobs that I just wasn't able to set up and do what I needed to do. Today I got a pretty simple job. Well, I wouldn't say today. It's probably going to take me 3 days. I've got to haul 10 loads of crush and run to a plumbing, air conditioning parking lot, and just freshen it up, skim it out. But just to get back and forth the quarry is going to take me a couple of days to get all those loads. We had a lot of rain here, and that's been tough too. Right when things start to get dry and you're ready to get back on it, and boom, and rain again. So I've been having to do like small nitpick stuff. But right now I'm doing the pre-trip inspection on my truck, checking the oil, brakes, fluids. I'm wanting to take and pull up here, clean my windshield off, try to get some of these pine needles and bugs that splattered on the windshield. When I go back to load the skid steer on this trailer, I noticed, I don't know how, it happens a lot really, but this step, if you look right here, this step is off, it's crooked. And this should be over more to protect the gas tank. I'm gonna try with the skid steer just to give that a little push and see if I can bend it back. It should be parallel with this one on top. And I think it is over that way a little bit more to protect that tank. Same thing for the fuel tank itself. I mean, I don't know what I call it that, but that's the DEF tank. Fuel tank, I had the same thing. I had a wheel loader come pulling up and hit this as they were distributing stuff to the truck, which I didn't even know they did. And because your truck's moving all the time when all that weight's dropping in it, and you really just don't pay attention. But it had dented this one back here, and I had to pull that one out and get it off the fuel tank band. So, you know, I know that's not the end of the world, but you know, I want to get it fixed. One thing I ain't got to show you today, I'm actually going to take that little cat I got over there and use it at the job. It's a little 2019 239D cat skid steer instead of the Takeuchi. And I hadn't got to show you this trailer. This is a Kaufman. I think it's considered a 22 foot. It's brand new. I hadn't even used it. And I wished I'd have did a video on this deal. I had a problem with the plug, and this just don't still make sense to me, but it is what it is, and I had to figure it out. But anyway, the plug, they say is wired for a dump truck with air brakes, which obviously you can see those here. And I wished I'd just bought a truck with air brakes, if you want to know the truth, but I don't haul big equipment. So getting to that part is that I thought it'd just be plug and play, you know, plug the adapter. It's a 5-pin round adapter, you know, plug it up and boom, it works. Well, that's why I didn't record on one job, because I plugged up the trailer, had the skid steer on it, and all that stuff was loaded up, and then all of a sudden the brakes is locked up on the trailer and it ain't going nowhere. Unplug the pin, brakes unlocked. So I was told that the truck is set up to where, since it has air brakes, when you plug a pin whatever into it, it tells the ABS to lock up, and that's what it did. So had to unhook everything that day and get everything with the F-350 truck and the other Kaufman gooseneck trailer and take it to the job. And you know, when things like that happen for me, I just get frustrated and I say forget about it, I got to catch up. So took it to my mobile mechanic, and he really had a hard time figuring it out. And I told him what the guy told me from Kaufman Tire that does a lot of work for him over in North Carolina. He said that really the easiest, best way to do is you're gonna have to, in order to get lights and turn signals, because the way they had them wired in that plug, the existing plug, was to tap into the turn signals and brake lights. And I'm sure everybody on here probably knows more about that than me. I know zero about that. And you put a test light on it, and if it blinks and it stays lit, I can tell you all that. That's about as far as I can go. So he tapped into the brake lights and tail lights on the existing truck lights, and then got the plug right. Now this is the first time I pulled this trailer. It's brand new, like I said. So we go ahead. I'm gonna go get the skid steer loaded up, and then we're gonna carry this thing to a place called Buzzo Plumbing, and drop the trailer and skid steer off. Then I'm gonna head to the quarry and see if I can get some crush and run. You know, it's supposed to not rain today, and supposed to taper down a little bit, but Jesus, it sure don't look good. So I will see you back there getting the cat loaded. The other day, I was getting stuff. Came out here to clean out my little dog Sassy's crate with the water hose, and we're right here in the well house. Let me get backed up after I put this brush back up. We're right here in the well house. Sitting right there. I'm gonna post a picture at the top, but there was a big old rat snake in there, and you know, just by habit I always unlock this, and the first thing I do is dive my head in. And when I dive my head in, over the top of this pump tank is the water spigot right there. Okay, so I'm always kind of rushing like that. So when I went to open this up and I reached in, I literally was face to face with him right here. I almost kissed him. And I don't care what kind of snake it is, and you know, he's a good one, but at the end of the day, scared the oak out of me. So I got a pair of snake tones and pulled him out of there, because I go in there all the time. I really don't want to see him, even though he's doing me a favor in there. I pulled him up in the woods and carried him off a little ways and set him free. Anyway, skid steer story of today. Next, let's go down there and see if we can push bend out of this little spot right here, and I don't screw something up, make it worse, I hope. Alright, I'm gonna set you up right here. As you can see, we're kind of crooked right there. Hopefully we won't be, or we'll be better than what we are. Okay. I think I said I was going to get you up in that spot where you can see it, but I don't know if you see me. I'm holding the tripod, but that didn't work because skid steer ain't got enough room to do what it needs for me to scoot up here. So I'm gonna reline you up. Hate doing stuff like this because usually I mess something up. When I did that fuel tank, I ended up having to take a bunch of bolts out, really straighten it with a big old ball. I call it a ball peen hammer, but a big hammer, big heavy duty hammer. And there's a bar in here that holds this channel in place. And the more I push on it, the more jeopardy I'm getting here. So and that bucket on the cat isn't as flexible as the bucket on the Takeuchi. It's hard to get used to each machine when you go from one to the other because this one doesn't curl as much, it doesn't hold as much in the bucket, and so there's some things I don't like to do with the cat. This is one of them, really. It ain't even a job. It's just trying to push this pin out. But I'm gonna leave this alone because I don't want to get in a pickle or something I don't need to be getting into. We're gonna load this cat up on a tilt trailer and get it locked down.
Waitress, let me go and get that check. Cause I've been patiently waiting, tearing these pages. Wars I've been waging, thoughts I've been racing. I'm trying to chase them, so go ahead and tell me what's left. What's left of it all? Who burned these bridges down before me? All these pieces I collect don't tell the story, and neither do you. You shoot me with a 22 just like a bulletproof. But I felt now, I'm not like the other dude that you dealt with. So tell me, what's left of it all?
What's left for us? What's left?
we are here at Buzzell Plumbing. Let's get out and take a look, see what there is to see. It's been a minute since I've been here, but I thought we was going to end up doctoring more up of some of these areas, but as you can see, this is where it's kind of muddy and a mess. Originally, I thought also that we was going to need to do some things to fix these drainage areas, but they went and got them some gutter extenders, which I recommended for them to put on, and that way that water, maybe it'll quit beating the side of the building down so hard. But this parking lot right down through here, this is where we got a little bit of a mess, as you can see. And I really think after seeing it rained all over it that we gonna need more material as far as loads than what I had anticipated. Because obviously all these water holes are water holes because there's no material there anymore. It goes all the way around. So I'm just my plan right now, stuff like this right here, I ain't even worried about these little baby holes. What I'm worried about is these big holes. I just want to put some product down in there, and sure would be nice, but looks like we're gonna have to dry out. So I'm gonna bring in some material and start stockpiling it a little bit in a couple of areas, and maybe give this a couple of days to dry out, and I'll get back with you. I didn't expect this much water holes around here, but I knew it wasn't time to start anything yet just because of the rain. So let's just see what I can do to get some material around out of their way and just get something done. I left the skid steer running because I was going to take and skim out some of that water back there in the back and some of them water holes before I went to the rock quarry, but it's 11:30, and be honest with you, I mean, they close at 4 right now. They've been moving their hours back and forth from 4 to 5, but anyway, it's 4 o'clock right now, So I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and utilize the time while the quarry's open and see if I can't get, you know, some loads in here at least to work with. Then I'll knock out some of that water this afternoon, and maybe by tomorrow it'll dry up just a little bit where I can start working toward that way. So right now what I'm gonna do is concentrate on this right here and running a load parallel with the building down through here about on the inside of that truck. So I'm gonna try to work all this right here and then move my way back through there after I skim it out tomorrow and let some water drain out. And hopefully that'll kind of dry up a little bit. So let me shut the skid steer down and jump in the old dump truck and head to the quarry. I wanted to talk a little bit, not that far from the quarry, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some stuff that I wished I would have kind of knew before I went to the quarry. And I'm going to try to start talking about some things from a beginner's standpoint, because the first time I went to the quarry, I was scared to death. I had nobody to teach me. I probably could have asked somebody, but I was too proud. So I just dove in, man. I dove in and figured it out. You know, felt stupid sometimes, but, you know, because they expect you to be a pro and know where all the rocks at. And when you ask these questions, they really don't, sometimes ain't all that nice to you, you know, but they're good folks when you get to know them, but, you know, that rookie stuff ain't too fun for them. So, this quarry I'm going to, rock quarry here, is C.W. Matthews in Bolingbrook, and this quarry here requires a tar weight, an empty weight, every 30 days. And that's most all of them as far as rock quarries. I do got a sand quarry that I go to that requires you to weigh every day, and that's kind of unusual, but they make you do a daily weigh. But this one here, I'm past 30 days on my empty weight, so the first thing I'm gonna have to do is go up and get an empty weight, and then after that I'm gonna, you know, call out to the loader man. Well, I'm gonna tell the scale house I'm pulling up for empty weight, get an empty weight. Then I'm gonna call the loader man, let him know I'm headed to the GAB crush and run pile. And this job that I just showed you, it's we're gonna be somewhere around 10 loads. It's 30 minutes to the quarry and 30 minutes back. This is on I-75, and I can tell you right now from experience, I've already learned too, that there is a lot of dock man out down through here. Now I try to run legal all the time, and I really don't try to overload my truck. You know, I run about 16 tons, and that's what I run all the time. But if I'm running interstate, because the quarry a lot of times doesn't, look, there's scale on the loader when they raise and lower the bucket, and then when you get to the scale to weigh out, it's just not always perfect. It's just impossible. You're gonna be over. So when I'm running the interstate where I know the dock man's gonna be, and I'm literally running 10 hours for 10 loads, 30 minutes one way, down through here potentially seeing dock man. So I'm gonna ask for 15 tons every single time, and it just is the right thing to do. It makes me feel better. You know, yeah, would I like to haul, you know, 18 tons every time? If I'm back on the country road and I ain't got that far to go, I probably, you know, do that every once in a while. But my truck legally can't haul but 16 1/4. I actually hauled with the guy the other day that shocked me, and he could only haul 13 1/2 in a Mack. And I was like, dang, dude, I can't believe that. I ain't never seen nobody haul less than me sometimes, you know. But I tell everybody my average loads are 16, 17 tons. But, you know, we're going to get loaded up for this crush and run, head back to scale, get loaded, get weighed again for the, you know, the gross weight, and go back up scale,
to US 41.
house, you got to sign your ticket, and then tarp it and get out of there. So I'll talk to you a bit at the quarry. Alright, just left the quarry. I might do a video all the way through for one of these loads, but what I wanted to show you, especially customers that don't understand, you know, what I had mentioned earlier between the scale house and the scale on the loader, you know, these guys get this stuff pretty dang close, considering, you know, I'm sure they're always recalibrating those scales and trying to get it. And I have been 2 or 3 tons over, but I just wanted to show you that, if I can get it to show, which I guess not. But anyway, there's 59 tons on that load. I wanted 15 tons, and that's fantastic to me. If it gets closer than that, you're doing good. I'm not only legal for the interstate haul here, and we call those interstate loads when you're going down through and you might hit a scale or a dock man, but you know, 16 1/4 is about my limit to be safe. And then if I ask for 15, I'm usually right there getting pretty close to it. You know, customers want to say, hey, you know, how many tons is that? How many tons is it? Well, look, man, I wish I knew how many tons it was sometimes.
On the right, I-475
you know,
south toward I-75
but anyway, I just want to shoot that footnote to you. We headed back and see. I'm hoping this will be, I doubt it, but I'm hoping it'll be dry enough that I can open the chain just a little bit more and maybe tailgate this thing in an area that won't cause me as much work. If it was dry, I'd lay drags up down this thing and I could finish this job as soon as I get all the material over here and just knock it down and smooth it out. But I probably thinking that the crushing run is going to clog the bed. If I open it too much, it's going to be a lot come out, and I'm open not enough and it's going to clog. So I'm going to try to, you know, tailgate as much as I can, open it a little bit more and go faster. See you in a bit. Well, sometimes things just don't work out. While I was hauling up and down the road, it just came a massive thunderstorm here. It made a gigantic mess. As you can see up there, I mean, that's practically a little pond. I got to figure out if I might be able to move that water on down through there or what. But right now, I just got a load of 4s to try to put in the place of this crushing run that I thought I was going to be spreading. Instead, I'm going to be moving it over and adding 4s in this little entry area because this is a heavy traffic spot. So now I kind of created a little bit more work for myself because I need to switch these 2 materials. I need to get some 4s underneath this crushing run, get the crushing run over here. So if that makes sense. So anyways, I'll catch back up with you after I get something done. All right, I wouldn't say day 2 completely on this job, but it is day 2. You know, it come a big monsoon rain yesterday, you seen on the video. I've already went to the quarry and got a load of crushing run. And before I did that, I decided I'd go back here and try to push some of this around. I got a load of 4s that I put on the base of this thing so that maybe it could bite up underneath this crushing run. And way back here, I've tried to at least cut a little small drainage area to where water can run off until it can dry up, you know. So I kind of tried to thin that out just a little bit. As you can see down through there, I just kind of pushed a little area for it to run. So maybe time will take its toll on that. Some of these areas, like these little potholes and stuff, ain't nothing I can do, you know, but to fill them in and, you know, go from there. The bad part is, as I was pushing this stuff out, that cat skid steer throwed an air coat, it decelled, and this broke down pretty much. I got to call in to my mobile mechanic because I really ain't got time to monkey with this thing right now. So what I'm gonna do is just haul all day today, and then this afternoon when I go home, I'll take and hook the trailer back up, and in the morning, you know, I'll load taco chip and bring it up here with, you know, to keep working. But Another day in the dirt business. I believe something tears up every day. So I'm going to haul all day, dump as many loads as I can get here, and then I'm gonna take and get back with you in the morning when I get Takahauchi over here to start pushing how many ever loads I get. Well, this video here is gonna be before and after. I kind of knew it was anyway, but skid steer tore up yesterday or the day before, so I didn't really have time to do too much because I had to go get the other one. So there is the tore up cat, and we ain't got the Takahauchi and finished the job up. Over Reliable didn't let me down. I got some bad news on the 239D though. It sounds like the turbo or something, but whatever, everything he was telling me didn't sound too good to me. And that figures. So I'm gonna show you around this job real quick. They let me stay late and let me lock the gate up. So I actually had a little extra material left over. I actually did this, if you want to know the truth, as a bonus. I ain't never crazy about the finished look of Crush and Run. So anyway, there's a load of 5s, and I had extra, so I tailgated what I had left down through here for them. That was a bonus. Wasn't no promises on that or anything, so I just went ahead and did that what was left over, like in my truck. But as we walk on up here, show you around where, if you remember in the previous one, all the water holes and stuff. So there's the entryway now, and I groomed this up a little bit, and what extra 4s I had left, I kind of used them in a sense like surge, but I built this up. So hopefully any water that comes down through here, you know, is going to kind of hit and slow down a little bit on that. You know, look, the budget was finished on this job. They had 10 loads of Crush and Run, 2 loads of 4s up underneath this Crush and Run in those water holes, and 1 load of 5s. So walking this way, and I'm real happy with it. You know, I told him the only thing I was concerned about is water coming off that building and kind of ponding up right here. But I mean, you know, it should kind of flow and make its way on out. Anytime you got a metal building, man, water just flies off them things. They did put gutters on there. I mean, not gutters, but downspouts on there, like I had recommended, so I'm glad they did that. But you can see back here, if you look at the previous video, I mean in the previous video for me, but earlier in the video, all this was just like saturated water. You know, so what we had in the budget I used, we put 4s in all the water holes, and all in here, and up down through here. There's 4s all up underneath this thing, kind of like there. But if you remember in all the ponding areas where there was big old potholes, that's where 4s went. And then I packed it with Crush and Run, ran over it and packed it in with a dump truck and a skid steer. But you really can't see for this to do justice, but man, that Crush and Run is about, you know, shoot, right there, it's probably 4 inches thick, and that's great. The only thing I was telling him about would be, you know, we didn't do right here because we got to give somewhere for these water spouts to go. And, you know, they didn't have enough money to keep doing all the way up to the building, or we could have had it run right off the driveway, but they wanted to get it where their business trucks could come in and out through here. So I did what I was told. You know, if it'd been up to me, I'd love to have had it all the way down this wall. But right here was a giant water hole, you know, so I'm hoping that, you know, this watershed's good. But, you know, hey, with the budget we had to work with and how much rock they had to have and everything, I mean, you know, all these were potholes here. if you refer back to the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. Turned out really good. The 5s to me just kind of are a bonus on top of that crush and run, right down the center on the crown, you know. So I'll be happy, man. We're gonna get big time rain tonight, I think. So it's about to get its test of time, and I'll have to pick up my stuff tomorrow, so I'll probably get to see the rain. Scott Benson, Skid Steer Premier, YouTube channel Georgia Nuts. Thank you for watching this quick little video. I sure do appreciate you.